deal.
Now available on your smart speaker by saying the radio station Talking Information Center.
For comments and more information, call 781-834-4400 or visit icnetwork.org.
Thank you for listening.
WBF Middleboro, WRS Middleboro, WRSLP Pittsfield, WLO Ontario, WBALFM, and all WDJR Framingham.
Broadcasting live from the Taunton Federal Credit Union Studios at Fortune Church.
I'm gonna put them on the table, Joe.
That's fine. Yeah.
WBBF Middleboro,
Awesome.
And W259DD, Middleboro Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor. Former President Donald Trump at a major rally yesterday in Georgia at the same venue where Vice President Kamala Harris addressed her supporters earlier this week, promised big changes when he's reelected in November.
The cartels will be crushed, crime will plummet, incomes will soar, the wars will end, and the American dream will come roaring back, bigger, better, and stronger than ever before, right? Yes?
And the former president has agreed to debate Kamala Harris on Wednesday, September 4th. So far, however, she has not said that she will take part. Also at townhall.com, a tropical depression in the Gulf of Mexico has strengthened to Tropical Storm Debbie. Forecasters at the National Hurricane Center say the storm now has maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, moving toward Florida. They predict it will become a hurricane before coming ashore later tonight. Jack Bevan with the National Hurricane Center says Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas need to be prepared.
Those rains would cause considerable flash and urban flooding along with river flooding in those areas. Now, not everywhere is going to get that. Those are going to be in certain areas near where the center of the system passes and in some bands nearby. But, yeah, there'll be widespread heavy rains associated with the system, particularly in the early part of next week after the system moves inland over northern Florida and the southeastern United States.
Authorities have released the name of a Florida sheriff's deputy killed in what officials call an ambush shooting.
Oh, 3 minutes.
Other deputies after they responded to
Yeah, I'll put yellow, give him red.
County Sheriff's
All right, sounds good.
Deputy Sheriff
Awesome,
Bradley
sounds
Lee
good.
died Friday night. Authorities
If
say
this seat isn't comfortable,
after
we'll get you that one, but
stabbed
I mean,
blood
no,
shot at Las Vegas Casino.
the red mic is out of the way.
The Red Rock Casino Resort
If
has
we get a
fired.
call,
Two of the injured are in critical condition.
just use headphones, you have to wear them, but, you know, maybe
Yeah, you don't have to wear them unless we get a phone
we'll
call.
make sure the volume's up, okay?
Summer is upon us and the weather is beautiful. Everyone has a favorite outdoor activity.
Doing the news right now. Big compliment here.
The first segment is mostly going to be weather and day histories
On the sidelines.
and introducing you guys.
Right.
That's
And then he
today's
brings
3 days
sports.
that helps your body fight.
Oh, sports will come after that, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what he's really good at.
It'll be the
Any other interesting to have, but
Because,
Just
yeah.
what do I have? I have,
We'll just do the high school football thing. I want to get an idea.
high school football.
Yeah, I want to ask Colvin was like the. Just when the high school football.
Every day.
They start in a couple weeks, so they start now.
Right now. Hanging out in
They're out there now.
Relief Factor can help you feel good and let you
Yeah.
enjoy all your favorite outdoor activities
Yeah.
all
So it's
season.
just want to get an idea of how brutal it is
Oh, yeah.
to be out this weather
In August.
in August. I always you know what I'm saying.
August is the worst.
Yeah.
Correspondent
Yeah.
Julie Walker reports on a surprise stock sale announced by Warren Buffett during a company earnings
Maybe
report.
reports of people passing out that you might have seen or whatever. I've seen it in Quincy.
Quincy,
Yeah, well, kids pass. I mean, it's
Not here in Brockton. We do a good job of keeping the guys.
Oh, really? Yeah, they got a really?
When I was there, we had a portable tank on the field.
Water.
Yeah, so it's literally like water on wheels.
Yeah.
So wherever it needed to be, it was there.
All right.
And so we made sure
And the coach made sure you guys were all right.
Yeah, we always take breaks. You're talking probably 3-minute sessions, 3-minute sessions, and then you go take a break. Go take a break for about.
That's during extreme heat.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but then also the coaches know like, all right, we're not gonna be out there for long.
Yeah.
So we'll just do
You'll
it.
find more stories, breaking news, and analysis
We'll
online
probably do a weight
at
room, go in the weight
townhall.com.
room, go lift weights.
I'm Ron
And
Taylor.
yeah, and the AC.
Yeah, and the AC, and then you listen down.
Youth
Right,
lockups
no,
in
right,
Texas remain beset with numerous issues. Here's John Scott.
Because I always saw those kids.
Justice accused the state of violating.
It's all right. It's not.
Yeah, it's probably not as bad. I mean, we all work outside, right?
Right.
I've done asphalt 100 degrees, weather and stuff, landscaping, but
Remember,
you gotta stick the helmet though.
Yeah, you just take it off. Every good morning, the chance, the opportunity you get to take it off, you take it off.
Right.
Because it's hot in there.
Yeah.
So you take it off, pour water on your head, and then you get going.
So what I'll do is I will I'll bring up the football schedule for Middleboro, Taunton, and Brockton. Doing that along with everything we want to talk about with that topic.
Record set last month.
You know Cohen's last name?
Leverage lost 1.5%.
What's your last name?
It's Alexander.
Stories at
Cohen Alexander.
townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and
Is
do
that
not
ringer off?
express the views of
The ringer
WBR
off?
ownership
Yeah,
or
make sure it's
Hometown Talk Radio. Content
Wow.
here on all
Hey,
programs
so have
are those of the
that
host
happen.
and their guests.
Yeah, alright, 270.
The only person that's done that to us was the person who works in radio. Lauren did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for
Like,
the Middleboro Weekend Review
And COVID's
with your
got Mike.
host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro News.
And good morning and welcome to Middleboro in Review. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is August the 4th, 2024. We are officially into August. August is a few days old now and pretty hot out there this past week. This past weekend, Friday and yesterday was pretty hot. Go say good morning to Don. Good morning, Don. How are you doing?
Good morning, Joey. Yeah, you speak about the heat out there. Just one thing you got to keep in mind is you got an elderly neighbor or somebody who might need checking in on. Try to do that sometimes. Especially a lot of people that they think they can ride out the heat and there's issues, health issues, and so if you have anybody a neighbor or anybody out there, check in on them, make sure the AC's working, make sure they're comfortable. It's real important. It's only for a few more weeks to do that, and it'd be very important to take care of, because a lot of people don't like asking favors. A lot of people have a lot of pride, and they'll try to ride it out. But I mean, sun's been tough. Friday was tough.
Yesterday was pretty tough.
Yeah, yesterday was all right, but Friday was tough because I was working outside and it, kind of cooked me a little bit.
Yeah.
So just be very careful. Drink a lot of water. I came in and drank a lot of water. It made me feel better. So just try to stay hydrated.
And during this weather as well, athletes are affected by this quite a lot. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on with our guest, Cohen Alexander. Good morning, Cohen.
Hi, thank you guys for having me here. I'm very honored to be here, and just to reiterate what everybody said, make sure you hydrate, and I look forward to doing this with you guys. So appreciate it.
Great, coming in early on a Sunday morning. So that's good. I work with Colvin, and he's a great guy, and been trying to get him in here since April. So glad we got you in here.
So we're gonna speak to Colvin in just a few minutes here, but we have our weather. Let's start with Taunton, 76 degrees. When the sun comes up, because it's not up right now, it's kind of hidden, I think, by the clouds. But anyway, 76 degrees. It'll be mostly sunny today. Possible rain in the forecast. 85 degrees with a low of 70 this evening, which is going to feel pretty nice compared to the last couple of days. Monday, 93 degrees, so the heat comes back for one more day, at least for the time being. 93 tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, low of 70. And then the temperatures plummet, but the rain comes along for the ride. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the rain comes along with that. And mostly in the upper 70s, does kind of pick back up heat-wise not that bad. In the low 80s come next weekend, but very nice temperatures in the evening. So that's going to be really nice. Driscoll, North Dakota, 57 degrees currently, mostly sunny skies, a low of 57 today. So we're at the low. 72 degrees for the high, 63 tomorrow with a low of 53 and rain, and kind of a mixed bag of weather in Driscoll, North Dakota this week. Middleboro, 76 degrees, a high of 85, a low of 70. Tomorrow will be 93, and pretty much the same exact weather Taunton will have this week, mostly rain. And Driscoll, Texas, 98 today. Right now we're at 76 degrees. Clear skies. It'll be clear pretty much all week. Looking like it's going to be 100 towards the middle of the week. So the heat is still in Texas right now. So we have that going on. Our today in history. We have several today in history. Let's start with our first one. 1854, August 4th. The Hinamaru is established as the official flag to be flown from Japanese ships. 1892, father and stepmother of Lizzie Borden are found murdered in their Fall River, Massachusetts home. She will be tried and acquitted for the crimes next year, the following year in 1893. 1914, during World War I, in response to the German invasion of Belgium, Belgium and the British Empire declare war on Germany. The United States will declare its neutrality. 1977, U.S. President Jimmy Carter will sign legislation creating the United States Department of Energy. Our birthdays today: 1900, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. 1901, Louis Armstrong, American trumpet player and singer. 1921, Maurice Rocket Machard, Canadian ice hockey player and coach. 1955, Billy Bob Thornton Dunn.
Yeah.
Great actor.
Yeah.
Great actor.
Some French fried potatoes.
He's a singer too.
He's great. You know what?
Very good singer.
One of my favorite movies was Armageddon.
Yeah.
With Bruce Willis. That was a great. He played it good, and I always liked the Bad Santa movies. They were a lot of fun.
Yes. Former President Barack Obama's birthday is today. Born on this day in 1961, he was the 44th president of the United States. 1962, Roger Clemens, American baseball player and actor, played for the Red Sox. 1978, Kurt Busch, the older of the Busch brothers. There's Kyle and then there's Kurt. Kurt was born in 1978, and then born on this day in 1981, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, American actress and humanitarian, and also a member of the British royal family. But they have their issues. Meghan and her husband with the British royal army, British royal family. There you go.
Little squabble?
Very big squabble. Not little squabble. Very big squabble. 1886, so these are now passings. Samuel J. Tilden, American lawyer and politician, the 25th governor of New York. And almost, very, very close to being president.
Who do you run against?
He ran, I think...
what year was it?
Well, let me look. He ran in... Let me look. It's in here somewhere. It's buried in here somewhere. Give me a moment. We'll go back to it. But he ran and came very close.
What year was it?
Don's not gonna stop bothering me with this.
Because
1876.
Rutherford B. Hayes.
Yes.
Rutherford B. I think that's was the election for Rutherford B. Hayes.
Came extremely close.
Yeah.
From winning. 4 of the states were disputed when it comes to the electoral votes. If he had won, I think just 1 or 2 of those, I think maybe just 1 of those, he would have won the election. Very close election. And there's a famous quote. I don't have don't have it in front of me, but there's a famous quote that he, a famous thing that he said, or maybe wrote down, about that election. I don't have it. I tried to look for it. I don't have it in front of me.
See, I mean,
unfortunately.
Everyone thinks the recent elections we have, the close ones, are like something that's like, like not in common, but it's been common. You go back and you got to read your history before you go and start, running your mouth and stuff like that about what's going on today, because it's always been contentious.
Yes.
The elections, politics is contentious.
Politics is very contentious.
I mean, Adams and Jefferson, not Jefferson, Adams and Jackson. That was nasty. That was John Quincy Adams. That his administration was just dogged with controversy.
Yes.
From the other side, and he wasn't reelected. And some people would go on to say that he did more in the as a U.S. representative later on in life. It's just
you have other presidents like Ulysses S. Grant, whose presidency was kind of defined by scandal as well.
Well, it's just really how it looks into the lens, I think, for a lot of perspectives.
Exactly.
Grover Cleveland, 22-24. I mean, I think he's going through the same trials that Trump's going through. President Trump's going through right now. So it's just like if you just go back and go read your history. I mean, you look at something today and you think, oh my God, I can't believe it's happened. No, if you know your history, it's happened. It's happened over the last 200-some years.
Yes.
So I mean, just read your history before you start. In my opinion, start running them up. I mean, you got to know. You could do your homework. Always do your homework. That's all you have to say.
All right, our last passing for today. Passing away on this day on August 4th, 1962, Marilyn Monroe, American model and actress, passes away on this day in 1962. So that is your birthdays. Today in histories and passings today. It's 7:17. We're going to take our first commercial break right now. When we come back, we are going to switch gears to high school football. We're not that far away from high school football. We're just a couple of weeks away. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about some of the issues with the heat as well, and athletes and how that affects the athletes, and then we're going to also talk about what's coming up for Middleboro, Taunton, and Brockton coming up here when it comes to the 2024 schedule. There's some pretty interesting matchups on the 2024 schedule this year. So we'll take a look at that as well during this next segment. Open phone lines as well, 508-822-1106 if you want to call in. We'll be right back here on WVBF 1530 AM, 99.7 FM, WVBF. This is Middleboro in Review. Gentlemen. 320.
You guys were doing a lot of ACs? Any breakdowns or just doing up any catastrophes?
So not for me to say, I've been on a lot of tune-ups.
What, oil tune-ups?
Yeah. So a lot of the other guys have been doing AC stuff. It's alright. I'm kind of blind. It's not until I beat up with Greg on a random water tank that he's filling me in on everything, what's going on.
Yeah.
And then other than that, that's pretty much it. It's been a quiet season for me.
Really? How's Liam doing?
I think he's doing great.
Yeah, that's good.
He's doing really great. The other day I was teaching him how the AC system works, how it controls, the steps of process, and stuff like that. So I think it kind of flustered him a little bit, but I told him, hey, look, it's taken me 3 years now. It's almost 3 years for me. It's gonna be about the same time for you.
It's just
understand.
It's just time. It's time to do it. You know what I mean? Because
he's beating himself up because he wants to get everything right.
Yeah, but no,
you can't.
It doesn't work that way.
I said even now I'm still learning.
You have to learn, because when you're on call, and it's in the middle of the night,
and you can't see anything,
you gotta make sure you can do something for people. Especially when it's 5 degrees out. You haven't seen a real bad winter.
No, not yet. I've had a couple of blizzards.
You got some of my iced coffee, Joey?
Iced coffee.
for sure this year.
I don't think we are gonna see one this year. We'll see. From what I'm hearing, at least what I'm hearing from the Farmer's Almanac, which you know how that accurate is, how accurate that is.
Yeah, just as accurate as that gopher in
They
Pennsylvania.
They say that fall will arrive on time. Whatever that means.
What does that mean? On time.
Whatever that means, I don't know. And then I saw something else saying that we're gonna have a warm winter. Not warm winter, but warm fall. Okay. Makes no sense. I don't know.
But I mean, we still have August and September, but I feel like this summer wasn't as hot as the past.
I think we had a lot of heat waves.
We had days in a row heat, but
it wasn't.
But I mean, as far as every day being
no, it wasn't. Every day wasn't hot because it rained a lot.
Yeah, COVID's right. That's why it's heat. That's why it's humid because all the we got too much vegetation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got too much tropical stuff.
It just keeps raining every time it's hot.
It rains.
Yeah, there's bees everywhere.
After the rains, it just keeps raining.
Mike Nee got stung. No, he came close to getting stung. Grandpa got stung.
Okay.
Is that a football team? Trojan?
The Bridgewater Raynham Trojan. Yes, it is. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, 0. And we're back. I turned down the bumper music. There we go. And yes, it is Farmers Market Week. 2024 Farmers Market Week. The Church Green Farmers Market is going to be today, Sunday, August 4th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., 76 Church Green. Join us as we celebrate with free face painting, a visit from That's So Cool Shave Ice Truck, and live music as well. So go down to 76 Church Green today, August 4th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Hopefully the rain will hold off for that. Also today, when you're done there, there will be the Whittington Annual Block Party, Sunday, August 4th, which is also today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. There'll be live music, there'll be vendors, hot dog eating contest, dunk a public official, bouncy house, an obstacle course, a trolley ride, a raffle, a scavenger hunt, and much more. And that will take place, like it says, on Bay Street. So that's what's going on down Whittington area of Taunton. So that's what's going on there. For more information, contact the Whittington Community Partnership or Misha Thomas at whittingtonway@gmail.com or 508-735-0641. So we have those events going up today. All right, it's 7:23 a.m., so we're going to switch over to our topic here for this couple of minutes, and that is the heat and how it affects the athletes. As we mentioned at the top of the hour, it's been pretty hot recently. We've had several heat waves where it's been hot for several days, and we're getting into football season. You know, freshmen starting to practice, and other football is starting to go on now. And COVID, how does that affect the athletes, the heat?
It affects the athletes in many ways. You know, you have your cramping, you have your fatigue. You know, you get fatigued a lot quicker just because, you know, you're out there you're burning away, and it's something that you got to make sure that you're hydrating, you're stretching after practice, and it's tough, but you know, you do what you got to do as far as hydrating. You make sure coaches already know to stay on top of the athletes, watching them, making sure they're not passing out, knowing how far to push them, and it's manageable when you can definitely manage it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've always watched the high school football plays starting in August. is that necessary to stop that early during the hot? Well, I always wondered I mean, I know they start their games usually they start their games right when school starts, right?
Yep.
So, right. So that's why they need to practice.
Right. So we
Yeah.
technically, when I was playing, you never really stopped training. So you're after the season ends, you get a small break to yourself, and then you're back in the gym. You're getting ready. A lot of the athletes, a lot of the seniors who are transitioning into college, they're getting their off-season conditioning. They're trying to stay in shape. A lot of the freshmen transitioning into sophomores, they're trying to get bigger and stronger. So they're in the gym, and then once you get out of that winter season, you're trying to get on that field as quickly as possible, trying to get in shape, trying to be competitive, and so it really never truly stops. It officially starts when the school begins its program,
Right.
but really athletes never really stop.
Would you ever think it's a good idea? And I've talked to this about Joey about spring football, meaning maybe start the practice even in the spring. I mean, but like you said, people transition into a new year. So I think that's what throws the monkey wrench and everything, right?
Everything, yeah.
Because that would probably be the ideal time for practice.
Right.
Is springtime. I know we got a lot of rain and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but I mean, I'd rather play in the rain
than the scorching sun.
Yeah, scorching sun.
It's not bad. Like a lot of times during the off season, around this time, a little bit before, like probably in early June, you do have 7-on-7s going on where you have the wide receivers and the quarterbacks hitting out there, doing camps. You have camps and all of that. So it's not as dramatic as you think. Like I said, it's not as bad. It's really not.
I think you're right. I was talking off air about I've worked outside. I've done asphalt work in 100 degrees, and like I said, people say how you do it. I guess it looks different from looking inside. You just focus on that helmet.
Yeah.
Because you're cooking. I mean, I see construction workers with the hard hat on. They have to do it, but I mean, I wore hard hats. It's tend to get your head's cooking.
Yeah,
it's just you can't so.
It's the same way. It's the same with football. That helmet does get hot, but the best thing is the moment you get that break or the opportunity, you're in the back of the line. Take the helmet off. Make sure you get your water on your head, and then you should be good to go.
Yeah, no, I understand. Hey, you played for Brockton.
Yes, sir.
You say you graduated 2020?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that was kind of a tough year because of the COVID. Stuff like that. But was there a football season in 20?
So yeah, it was the season after I graduated. Was when they had that kind of crazy debacle of how to figure out what they're gonna do.
Right.
Luckily, my season did finish.
But your 19 season.
So it was like 1920. So yeah, it did finish.
So by having the fall situation.
It sucked. I didn't finish my senior year. There was no prom. There was no nothing.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's life.
So what was your position as far as Brockton High? Offense or defense?
So I was mainly offense. I played guard my senior year, and it was a great experience. I was coached under Coach Brennan was my offensive line coach at the time, and pretty much the head coach. I want to give a shout out real quick to the new head coach starting this year, Coach Silva. He was my freshman coach when I first came in 2016. He's now the head coach of Brockton High, so I wish him nothing.
Are you friends?
We're close. When I see him, I'll bump into him.
Bring him back. Bring him here. Come back. Tell him he has an open invitation from Middleboro Review, and
always
wants to come and talk talk about Brockton football. And
speaking of Brockton, we're going to talk about the schedule in just a moment.
Joey, I had to say something about your shirt. You're wearing your Bridgewater Raynham.
I am wearing the Bridgewater Raynham. So you know what? We'll mention Bridgewater Raynham as well. So let me add that to the list.
Now, who's Brockton played during the Thanksgiving game?
Let me take a look for you. I gotta look that up.
You did play the Thanksgiving game?
Yeah, I did play.
Yeah. And so yeah, we'll during our next segment we'll talk about Bridgewater Raynham, we'll talk about Brockton, we'll talk about Taunton and Middleboro, and what the schedule is going to be, and we'll also talk about the Thanksgiving games as well.
There's nothing better than a Thanksgiving game.
No, absolutely. Yeah, very important. So we're going to talk about those. We're going to take our news break right now, and when we come back, we'll have all of that. It is 7:30 a.m. You're listening to WVBF 1530 AM, 99.7 FM, and you're listening to Middleboro in Review. I'm Joe Driscoll. We'll be right back.
Would you guys play Abington? No. Bridgewater, right? No.
No, we don't play Bridgewater. I'm trying.
Randolph? That's Bridgewater?
We play Marshfield, Barnstable, Franklin, Sudbury, Andover, Everett.
SRN News, I'm Greg
What about
Preston in
Thanksgiving?
Washington. Debbie is the fourth named storm of the 2024
No,
Atlantic
no.
hurricane season.
But it's the same team
Tropical
every year,
storm
right? I
is
think so.
heading for the Gulf Coast of Florida. Dozens of large fires continue burning across the western U.S., including in California. That's where some 6,500 firefighters are battling the Park Fire near Chico. Meanwhile, crews made progress this weekend against three major fires that are burning in Colorado near Denver. Donald Trump rallied his supporters in Atlanta, Georgia last night. And on the campaign trail, this is the week that Vice President Kamala Harris will announce her running mate. The newly announced Democratic ticket will campaign together starting Tuesday in Philadelphia. Middle East violence continues. Israeli strikes have killed at least 18 people in Gaza, 2 people killed by Palestinians in Tel Aviv. This is SRN News.
This message is for anyone looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, even if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or taking anxiety meds. Here's an example. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe overweight with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost about $200 a month. We're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. If you've had prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Get a quick quote by calling Term Provider at 800-568-2790. 800-568-2790. If you're looking for term life insurance but have type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, or have other health issues, call Term Provider at 800-568-2790 or visit termprovider.com. Termprovider.com.
Is it already? Okay. I must have hit a 2-minute one. That's fine. Okay. I thought I had 5 minutes. Well, that's okay.
You still gotta do a
Commercial anyway. No, that had a commercial on it, so.
You gotta do, you have to do another commercial?
At about 7:45, well, our second set of commercials is about 7:45, but we're good for till then. Now here we go, 3, 2, 1, 0. And we're back as I turn down the bumper music. There we go. It is 7:34 a.m. here, and before we took our news break, we talked about what's going on for Thanksgiving football, and I know that's a couple of months away. We're not there yet, but since we're on the topic, and we're going to talk about it here, we'll start with Middleboro. Middleboro has Carver this year, as always, and those are interesting matchups, to say the least. Very interesting matchups. They were, in the past, very, very close, and things kind of separated between the two when it comes to Middleboro and Carver. And Middleboro started dominating this particular matchup and has been for several years now. They won last year. I think they won 63-3 or something crazy like that. And this was the year Carver went to the Super Bowl. You know, this past year, Carver was in the Super Bowl.
That's an accomplishment because Carver always never really won. They won in 2017 when Middleboro went to the Super Bowl because I think Middleboro played all their sophomores.
They played all their freshmen.
Freshmen, sophomores. And that must have been a great opportunity for the freshmen.
Oh,
because
yeah.
here we go. You know what I mean? Usually they're lucky if they get out at all. Colvin, now you played ball for 4 years, right?
Yes, sir.
What did you do for a freshman? Did they ever put you in when you were a freshman? Or?
Yeah, I did play when I was a freshman. It was a little tougher because you're just trying to figure yourself out. So I did get a chance.
Some,
yeah,
right.
some.
I mean, obviously you played more.
Right, you're a freshman, right. So you only so much.
So to be playing lead roles in a Thanksgiving game as a freshman for Middleboro High School, and knowing that the seniors and juniors are going over to Gillette Stadium to play.
Yeah.
I mean, and they almost won. I remember that game. They almost won. They didn't win, but they almost won. So that's something to be said.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just like you always hear about the BU and Red Sox game, the first one played. And if you ever heard, I don't think BU's ever won against the Red Sox, but wouldn't it be something?
Close a few times.
But wouldn't it be something if they did? If BU just won?
It'll happen eventually. I think it'll happen eventually.
Yeah. You just never know. And as far as the Thanksgiving games, there's a special meaning in my heart about the Thanksgiving games. It's a tradition of something we've done up until you being in the broadcast industry, but you've always done a game. I've always sat across you. If you broadcast a game here on the radio station, which you've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years, I've always sat across with you. Men of Middleboro or Taunton or whatever, or men of Middleboro Carver, but it's Taunton or it's another game.
Yep.
So
and I've called the 2019 edition with Ed Rand.
Yeah, you exactly. You did the color commentary, and I thought you did a great job because less is more. Yep. Ed kind of ran the show, but you just threw little. Sometimes less is more when it comes to broadcasting. I think that's something that you might have learned. And somebody taught me that less is more, because if you try to put too much in, I don't know, it just comes out a jumbled mess.
So Middleboro Carver will be the high school football Thanksgiving game again for Middleboro. It will be in Middleboro this year, so that's going to be great for that one. The remainder of the schedule, they'll start off on August 24th, Saturday, August 24th, 10 a.m. Looks like this game will start. Some of these first two games, these are scrimmages, or at least the first one is. So 10 o'clock, that sounds right. The August 27th one doesn't have an announced time yet.
Would that be a scrimmage?
The second one most likely will be a scrimmage as well.
Because school hasn't technically started.
Yeah, they'll start the season on September 5th. So let's go through the schedule here. For Middleboro, Saturday, August 24th at 10 a.m., they'll take on Plymouth North. You got Plymouth North, and you have Plymouth South. They'll take on Plymouth North. August 27th, they'll take on Fairhaven.
August 27th?
August 27th, they'll take on Fairhaven. Those two games, they're away games. So they'll travel to Plymouth, and then they'll travel to Fairhaven. They'll begin the season against Apponequet. This has been the matchup over the past few years, Apponequet versus Middleboro to start the season. They'll be at home for that game. Then they'll be at home against Holliston. Holliston will travel all the way to Middleboro and take on the Sachems on the 13th at 7 p.m. On the 27th of September, Bridgewater Raynham Regional will take on Middleboro. And that is also a home game for Middleboro. Their first away game will be October 4th. They'll travel to Sandwich to take on Sandwich. And then they'll travel to East Bridgewater to take on East Bridgewater Junior Senior High School, the Trojans. And then they'll face off against Norwell. They'll be back at home for that one on the 18th of October. The 25th of October, they'll take on the Rockland Bulldogs. Then November 1st, they'll take on Abington, the Green Wave. And then, of course, the Thanksgiving football game, which we...
I noticed you had your schedule up for Brockton, so...
I was taking a peek.
Yeah, why don't you run down what Brockton's doing?
We have a couple of scrimmages early on, but the main games will be on August 13th. It will be versus Barnstable.
August 13th?
Is it? Yeah.
September 13th.
Sorry about that. September 13th.
Yep.
It will be against Barnstable. And And then we have coming up after that on the 20th, we have Franklin, and so on, just to name a few.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, those are some big ones. I see.
You guys
see.
play Middleboro?
Oh, did you see Middleboro?
No, Middleboro is not on. Brockton is not on the Middleboro schedule this year. I
Sometime-
don't believe they really do. I don't know if the.
I think it'll be like a things.
Yeah, is it Brockton Division 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very rare. If they do, it's very, very rare. I mean, Middleboro did face Taunton. They're not on the schedule.
It's funny how they do the schedule, and there's no rhyme or reason how they do the schedule. You know, it's just like
I don't know.
Holliston.
Yeah, Holliston.
That's a hike.
But yeah. So looking at Brockton, the Brockton Boxers, you got St. John's.
Yep.
That's a scrimmage. You got Marshfield. That's a scrimmage. They'll start the season against Barnstable. Then they'll take on Franklin, which Taunton takes on Franklin as well. So that's a big one. Lincoln, Sudbury. Then they'll take on Lawrence, Andover, Everett, New Bedford, and Durfee. These are some big
Where's
hitters.
Durfee?
Durfee is Fall River.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll take on some big hitters this year for the Brockton for Brockton. So that's gonna be some big ones there. Taunton Tigers. They'll be taking on New Bedford. New Bedford. That looks like a scrimmage. It doesn't say scrimmage on here. They'll start September 6th. So actually, maybe it won't be a scrimmage. That I don't think doesn't say anything about scrimmages for Taunton on the schedule. I'm assuming they will. I'm assuming they'll have a scrimmage. I don't know who it'll be against, but it's not on the schedule. Friday, September 6th, they'll take on New Bedford. Then on the 12th, they'll take on Durfee. Then they'll take on North Attleboro. Then they'll take on Everett, Franklin, King Philip, Attleboro, Sharon, and then Milford for the Thanksgiving game. So that is what's coming up there. And then the Bridgewater Raynham Trojans. As you can see on the Facebook Live, that is the shirt I am wearing. The Bridgewater Raynham Trojans, Canton. That is a scrimmage. And then they'll have another scrimmage against North Attleboro. And then they'll be lucky. They'll have a third scrimmage against Durfee. Those are both on the same day. So maybe it's a split squad scrimmage. Yeah.
What's that? What's a split squad? What's that?
Split squad is when you kind of cut the squad in half.
Okay.
One part of it goes on to play one game, the other. They do it in baseball. And then another.
So like freshman, sophomore, something like that.
So like freshman and sophomore might face
Yeah.
either North Attleboro or Durfee, and then the seniors might face North Attleboro or Durfee. I don't know. It's
So it's the two same teams doing a split.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Yes.
Have you ever done that?
Same,
No,
same thing.
Yeah.
Same day for both games. Then they'll start the season against Barnstable, and then they'll take on Plymouth South, and then Marshfield, and then Bridgewater Raynham will have a game against Middleboro, which we just mentioned. That's on September 27th, and that will be in Middleboro. Then they'll have a week off. Then they'll take on Durfee, New Bedford, Dartmouth, and then Shrewsbury to end the season. No Thanksgiving football game here on the schedule.
Well, it probably hasn't popped up yet.
Yeah.
It hasn't
Don't know
popped
what
up.
it is.
Once we get into the season, it'll probably.
Yeah, once we get into the season.
Whoever they play, they play.
Absolutely.
I grew up in Quincy. It was always North Quincy and Quincy High, right at veteran stadiums. It really depends on who was the home. Whoever the home was got the street side, and the visitors got the far side.
That's pretty cool.
So I mean, that was always the way there, and they just redid that stadium. So that was what I grew up with.
Did you play sports?
I played soccer. I'll tell you a story about soccer. Okay?
Let's go.
This is a great story too. This is a story that, I mean, a lot of people would think it's bad now because of the way things are. We had a coach, I'm not going to mention his name, but we had a coach in 7th grade, and he was an awesome coach. And we practiced at a place called Pageant Field in Quincy. And there was an area that we ran around. To do twice, and maybe it was a half a mile or whatever. We got to do it. We got to run it. Practice starts. You do it twice. The last person had to do it 3 times. All right? And there was always one kid. He was a heavyset kid. And he called him Teddy Bear, which, I don't know, maybe he shouldn't have called him back then, but back in 1982, whatever.
Yeah.
There was one day that this kid wasn't last. He wasn't last. He didn't have to run it 3 times. He ran 3 times, and I saw this kid turn into a weapon. He got so in case he had to do it 3 times. And then when he did it twice, when he wasn't last, the coach came out and gave him the biggest hug in the world, and he was so happy. And I think that really kind of you don't know if things change people's lives. Sometimes a coach does that. I mean, the biggest hug in the world, and this kid, I've seen him years after, he was thin as a rail. He lost all the weight. But sometimes it just, sometimes a little humility might go a long way. A lot of people think it's cruel, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't last now. I mean, me and Kevin, my buddy, we were always first. We were the fastest on the team. And I was so happy too when he wasn't, because we had about 15 people. And so that was great that he made him do that. Some people might say, oh, that's kind of cruel. You shouldn't be singling people out. But he went on to be a great player off to 8th grade too. And I seen him years later, and he lost all the weight, and he was really doing good in life. So you don't know. Sometimes the interaction works.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, look at Nelly, the coach, Middleboro coach.
Yes.
Look how many people showed up at the 2017 Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
All right? He passed away that year. He retired and he passed away. He was a legend in Middleboro. Tell us a little about Nelly.
Yeah, he was the coach for Middleboro football for many years, many years. And he passed away in July of 2017. That winter, the Middleboro Sachems made the playoffs, and they made it to the Super Bowl. They faced Littleton. Second quarter on, it was just all Middleboro. All Middleboro. Littleton started 7-0 going into the second inning, going into the second quarter. And then after that, it was all Middleboro.
But just the respect of all the players, older players who might have had. I mean, how long did Coach Nelson coach for? About 20 years?
I think.
So you got people. You got people in their 40s and 30s or whatever with their football outfits on. They still fit them. You know what I mean? It was just so. It was good. It was a lot of pride. You still get your football jacket?
Nah, I have to go back. I've been telling his name is Coach Bloomstein, that I need to buy my helmet and my jersey. So.
Oh really?
I gotta go back and get it.
Oh really?
Yeah. I want it bad.
So they still have it?
Yeah, they still have it. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
that's cool. Now what's he doing with it? He just puts it at the school or something like that?
So it's hung up right now. It's I'm pretty sure it's waiting for me. So whatever I want, I just gotta go back and find them and hunt them down and go get my stuff. But yeah, it's there.
Oh, good. That's something that you got to be looking for later on.
Absolutely.
Right? 10 years from now, you got to be so happy that you went and did that, because now you got to go to games. You got to have you got to have your colors on, and you got to be talking. It's just it's cool. When I saw all the colors and the sea of different, the color, that all the Sachem colors.
Yes.
And all the different ages of the football players.
It was special.
It was something special because it was so sad that Coach Nelson passed away, because he just retired that year.
But think about how many, think about the impact he had on those people's lives too.
Yeah.
Like he probably changed a lot of people's lives.
Just like that soccer. Just in that practice.
Yep.
I mean, he gave him the biggest hug. I never seen a coach give someone bigger. He ran over and just hugged him, and the kid was almost crying. I mean, because for weeks and weeks and weeks he was last, and he was almost there, but and me and my buddy Kevin were like, come on, just go a little harder. And he tried a little harder every day, lost a little more weight, and he did good. And he was He was the goalie. It was awesome.
We got to take our last commercial break. We'll be right back here on Middleboro in Review. I'm Joey Driscoll. This is WVB at 1530 AM, 99.7 FM.
That was a good story.
Huh?
That was good.
That was a good story.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, maybe maybe around Thanksgiving. Come back.
Oh yeah.
Around Thanksgiving maybe. We talked about the stats of the teams and stuff.
Yeah, everything turned out.
Oh, you know what? High school football. We could talk 3 hours about
High school football is so fun.
It's so awesome.
It is
to talk
so
about.
fun.
You know what I mean?
All right, so we're gonna finish the hour by talking about Olympics and then a little bit about the Patriots. I'll just, I'll go around the room and ask about the record prediction. I'll go through the schedule and then we'll do the record prediction.
I don't know. I'm not really interested in it. You been watching much of the Olympics? No,
It's
cluster.
It's kind of boring.
I don't know.
I gotta do the medal count.
I like the Winter Olympics more. For the ice hockey.
Thanks.
Yeah.
This year for sports for me, I've been kind of like distant for some reason. I don't know. I don't know if it's because of work. I've just been busy, but I haven't gotten really into it. So
Yeah. I think fall you come around with football season because you're a football guy.
yeah.
You know what I'm
I think
saying?
that's
So
what it
you see the fan. It's in the air.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you might drive by a high school and see them practicing and stuff like that. And
They want me to coach. They want me to coach the offensive lineman.
do it.
Ah.
Do it. No, coach.
I gotta think
Why
about
would
that.
Huh?
I gotta think about
Who
it.
asked you?
So for the freshmen, what they're doing is it's a
For Brockton?
We're gonna be coming back.
For
Yeah.
Brockton?
for Brogdon because they need a little bit of help because
Who asked you?
Coach Silva is moving up to his
Yeah.
senior. He's gonna be the senior coach,
Yeah.
and so now they just need help for the freshman team. So
Why would he do it?
Especially
Why would he do it?
oh my God, come on!
It's
Why
so
would he do it? He asked you?
No, not the
That's
coach.
fair.
It was one of the friends of the match.
Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1, 0. And we're back.
I have a friend of mine. He works for the city of Quincy, and
Yes.
Jonathan. You know.
Yes.
You met him. You talked to him?
I
met
think
Jonathan?
we mentioned. I think we
Alright.
talked to him once or twice.
Right. Well, he's coached. He's coached BC High, and he does all sorts of coaching and stuff. And I asked him too, because I'm not throwing anyone on the bus here. I'm not going to do that. Okay, but I asked him, and I like come by, and I see him every once in a while because he works for the city, and we have business with the city. So I asked him. I said, "What rewards do you get out of being a coach? What just drives you to being a coach?" And he says, "The respect I get from the players is unsurpassed."
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons. It's just they look up to me to guide them to play better. It's a character thing. It's such reward. See, he's played or whatnot. So I mean, it's just like because I always pick his brain, because it's just you always look at coaches differently because they're ahead of how many people are on a team usually?
I would be up to like 50, 60.
50, 60 guys.
Yeah.
And you got, so what do you got? Coach, you got assistant coach. How many adults do you usually have on the ground?
So so you have your head coach, your assistant coach, you have your lineman coach, wide receiver coach, and after that it's like they call them specialists.
Yep.
So for each position we'll have probably a mentor or usually a coach.
Yeah. So I guess you don't realize your potential until you just get into it.
Yeah, and start going.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna, it's just, it's important. He really emphasized, and he stopped doing it. He's coaching his daughter now or whatnot, softball and stuff like that, which is important because that's his daughter. But he's thinking about going back. He misses it. So I mean, it's just if you have an opportunity, I really think that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Because life's busy, work and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but you don't want to go back looking at something later on and say,
I wish I should have done it.
I wish I should have done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right.
So
So, all right, last 2 topics here before the top of the hour.
We have to talk about something else for high school football?
We have to
What,
talk.
the Olympics? Come on, we don't have to.
We have to talk about the medal count
Oh,
because,
yes.
like I said, I try to keep people updated on the medal count. There's someone out there that cares about the medal count, especially because the United States is in second
I think
place.
more people care
But
about
we'll
high
get
school,
to that.
local high school football than
Yes, but there's someone out there that
there's one.
probably looks forward to my medal count.
There's one person out of the.
So let's get to
50
that.
million will listen in this.
Let's
morning,
get
right?
to that really fast. China, 16 gold medals. They're number one. They have 37 gold medals in total, but they're number one because they have 16 gold medals. And this is why I say that. The United States has 14 gold medals. They have 61 medals in total. And they're not first place. Because I believe it goes by gold medals. That's how the IOC does it. Which is terrible. But whatever. France, the host country, 12 gold medals, 41 medals in total. Australia, 27 total medals with 12 gold medals. And then 34 gold medals for Great Britain with 10 gold medals. And they're in 5th place. So there's your Olympic medal count. Patriots. Oh boy, Patriots. So
Have they played a scrimmage game yet?
they have not played a preseason game yet.
No, the only game the NFL's done is that Canton game.
That Canton game that got canceled. Well, that got canceled about halfway through. So yeah.
Good start.
Hopefully that's not indicative of what's to come. But Patriots Panthers should be a win. I don't really know if the Panthers got any better. I don't think so. Panthers were at the bottom last year, and they're kind of still down there. They're rebuilding. They are rebuilding.
Are they worse than Jacksonville? Or is nobody worse than Jacksonville?
Jacksonville. I don't know what's going on
What do
with
you think of Jacksonville? I mean, there's that one year that Jacksonville came back and almost made the playoffs.
Jacksonville is who's the quarterback? Trevor.
Trevor Lawrence right now.
And it's
Mac Jones is the backup.
Mac Jones is the backup.
Mac Jones is the backup.
Yeah, he went over there.
What if they something if they made something about that when they were so quick to throw Mac Jones under the bus and throw him in the oven and get rid of him and then watch him go back and
he was so bad.
Watch him be put in, you know what I mean? They use him one game.
He wasn't great.
How do you feel about your new quarterback now?
Drake May is good. Drake May is really good. He just has to prove it.
Even outside of the other reports, because I hear some noise going on. So
yeah, I think he's.
What's the noise?
They say he's Mac Jones-esque. Like he seems overwhelmed. So that's why I asked him.
Was that the problem with Mac Jones? Was he overwhelmed? Was he?
But you could see when Mac Jones would play, like it was like he would seem flustered a lot. He would seem overwhelmed. So they're saying in practice he looks the same.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's just rumblings, and I've heard that from one source. Mm-hmm. So it could be otherwise.
What do you think about the new coach? It's the first time in like 20-something years.
Gerard Mayo, I think, is going to be good.
We don't have Belichick. And what do you think? You think that's going to be an issue, or you think just time to move on? Or
so
my heart's broken a little bit because I like Belichick. It really is.
Yeah. So we have other games on here. Eagles, they're building something special. The Eagles did really good in the offseason. And my thoughts are they're probably one of the favorites in the NFC. The Chiefs are probably going to go out of the AFC pretty quickly and pretty easily, honestly. They didn't lose much of anything. So I think the Chiefs are going to be scary for a while. Unfortunately for the rest of the league, but that's besides the point. So I think it's Eagles versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl right now.
So far,
you're making that prediction.
I'm making that right now. I'm making that prediction
shooter.
Right this second.
He is.
Yes. Super Bowl 60, Chiefs versus. I'm not ready to make the prediction on the NFC side for that. Super Bowl
I was going to say, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, I'm not ready. But Super Bowl 59, I think the Eagles made enough moves where they could probably make it. We'll see. The NFC is. There's some other good teams in the NFC.
The Eagles make me nauseous.
There's some good teams in the NFC.
Yuck.
I mean, you
Pittsburgh.
could be.
Pittsburgh. What about the Steelers?
The Steelers are just born to be
Uh-oh.
9-8.
Oh wow.
Honestly, they've just been. I don't know.
Dad, you're brutal. You're brutal.
Oh,
They've been born to be 9-8 for a very long time.
It'll take everyone's lunch money. You really will. You really
I
will.
don't know what they need to get better. But they need a lot to get better. To get out of this 9-8, 10-7 deal.
So Coben, it's really a toss up who's gonna win.
Yeah,
it's all different talent, all different coaching, and it's just it might as well be start from scratch.
I mean, something else that I've heard that's pretty interesting to me is the Washington Commanders could be moving to DC. Right now, they play outside of DC. They could be moving into DC, the old RFK stadium, and there's some noise about their old logo coming back. Right now, it's just all speculation. It's all rumor. But there's some noise about that.
Are they changing their name?
They won't change the name back to Redskins. No, but they will bring the logo back. That's what I'm hearing. All right, it's 8:01 a.m. We gotta go. Thank you, Coven, for being here today.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, and hopefully Thanksgiving we'll come back.
Yeah.
And you know what? Take that coaching job.
And we'll be all right. We'll be back next week for another edition of Middleboro in Review. So bye, everybody.
See ya.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I got you. You know.
Gotta get those